Okay, I'm here with Mr. DeGeisling. We've just watched a Russell Brand video about to do with vaccines and that. When we moved to the new one, didn't we? That's about the government having this some kind of party. Now I don't watch the news. I've heard snippets here and there when I'm out, and it's just come to me watching the first 20 or 30 seconds of it. I'm like, why are they winding everyone up about Christmas and then almost threatening to cancel it again? And then you've got this new variant out. And today I was really angry because I found this social system where they're going to put risk, like this pilot thing to make people a bit like the China. Right. In order to be able to bring in their new control, they need a reaction. So it seems to me that all of this is to wind the public up to the point where they react. Because if you cancel Christmas for a second year, you're going to have people on the street. Right? And then you're going to have this group of people that are going to be, oh my God, I'm scared, I can't go outside my house. And then it comes to the next level where they can bring in the social China dictatorship system and put a chip in your arm much easier. Problem, reaction, solution. You always, from some kind of drama, some kind of chaos, you offer a solution. It's just weird. Why is all this shit coming out just before now? Why is there's got to be a reason. Because people are angry. There's a guy at work, right? I'm not going to say his name because it's not fair, but he's not an activist. He's not a truther per se. He's probably just likes Labour. He's like an old union man. He's like, he's really kind of for it. He's a nice guy. But he got really angry with something that Boris said today. I don't know, I don't watch the news, but apparently he said to her, that fucking cunt, no one's going to have their Christmas cancelled and I'm fucking going, the country won't fucking stand for it. And he's getting really angry and he's been vaccinated, he's normal, he's just like, followed the rules, he's done everything he's supposed to say. And this is a normal person who's getting angry over something that's happening on the news. Then all this shit comes out about parties. This social thing that Shireen's shared with me today that says, basically, it's almost like the China social care system that we said that was, the credit system. If you're not subservient to your government, you can't travel next. You won't be able to go to special places, i.e. if you've not had a vaccine. But then when you look at this PDF file, I'll put the PDF file information description in the bottom. Go and have a look at section 10, and it talks about COVID and China and America, and it's like, who's in bed with who? Was Trump in bed with China? Did something kick off there? Did someone release something by accident, on purpose? What is it? Biological warfare? What the fuck is going on? And then you've got Gates, his fingers in every pie going. Every media channel across the board, every fucking healthcare system, every fucking technological fucking system. Their hands are, it's just ridiculous. Bill Gates' name is everywhere. It's like a chair on every fucking massive corporation everywhere. He might even have hands in fucking Amazon. And then people go on about like, oh, they won't do that, And then I went into Sainsbury's today. For the first time, I didn't use scan as you go. Do you know why? They want you to use scan as you fucking go. You don't want... where's the human interaction? You should be talking to someone. It's just ridiculous,
so
right?
You were deliberately
I deliberately went, fuck you if you scan and you go. I don't care, I'm going to queue today. Because every cunt's using scan as you go. Soon you'll have just a fucking room with a handful of tills and 2 fucking members of staff and robots filling the fucking shelf. There's a point, Mark, right? You use technology for the greater fucking good, but at what fucking point? And am I going to live in some sci-fi dystopia? Because it's escalating on a level that it's just ridiculous. I'll shut up. What can you say?
There's been a lot of tension. And a whole bunch of really quite nice, critically thinking types are going to consider going on a protest.
Protests are not... no. That will bring in martial law.
And during that protest of those nice civil people who are asking some pretty reasonable questions, I suspect, there will also be a squad of professional mischief makers who will be burning the cars and smashing the windows.
Not the Soros lot.
So that it can all get a bit boisterous, and that will be the precedent for things like martial law
A social credit care system.
and social credit care systems, because we are proving to the management that we are so rowdy that we need a harsher control, no less. And they will get us to demonstrate that need. Because the riot psychology is a fairly, it's pretty obvious.
Every time there's any kind of protest, you know that the police, why would you kettle a group of people for stuff? How to wind everyone up, normal people. And you always get a group of people that go in and cause the aggravation that then pushes it to the next level. And it's obvious, because sorry to interrupt, but when you get a protest that's allowed, right, because it's what they want, no police really turn up. They stand there like that. Oh yeah, we have to wait for tea, all that kind of chit chat, and everyone walks along the road with their banners and gets to the end part, and you put a little bit of paper into the police and say, I'm going to protest at this time, and for some reason there's all this. But if you do it and it's an agenda they don't want, they'll make it difficult.
So we are really there is a real consciousness to this relationship, in that you perceive that we are being deliberately pissed off so that we can get sat on the naughty chair in the next mandate-ridden future.
Yes, but you've got to remember that television, that fucking box that tells everyone, the media, all that, oh, we said this, we said that, oh, they said this week, rah, 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 rah. The moment that square thing says anything, it's almost like God speaking.
Now you see, this is a very interesting point, because it occurred to me just recently that if all of your information comes from a screen or from a book, then you must consider yourself to be a believer, because you didn't go and count the cases, you didn't see the evidence.
There's a fine line there, because you can't do every single scientific experiment to prove that something's right. So I get what you're saying, but I think you're saying is you can't necessarily say this expert's always right.
Well, I'm saying...
So you need to kind of check the data yourself. I'm
saying something very, very more clear than that. And as an ex-TV bloke, and as a photographer, and as a bloke who really knows how to tell a fib with some light and an angle, you can make anything look any way you want to if you've got someone like me giving you a hand. And I'm not that rare. I'm just a normal lying, cheating photographer person.
Normal.
Yeah, just making something look better. That's all. I'm making something look the way I want you.
You've never been normal.
We're doing serious TV. No, we're not. It is a thing, though. If you can we have a public out there who will turn up for a fucking hanging. There's a percentage who think that's great entertainment,
And that's watching someone hang entertainer. I've never quite got that. I don't get off on other people's
these are
misfortunes personally.
I recognise the shouting classes who really feel that everyone should behave the way they feel and won't tolerate anything else. And that was that Australian politician that we were seeing.
He was so angry.
So there's some people who
so angry, like on a level of anger.
He was
ridiculous.
Well, that's because he's a believer, right? Now you see, if you're talking to a believer, they're going to get cross, because eventually you're going to point out that actually, mate, you're a believer. This is not science. This is marketing, mate. Science is full of questions. Marketing is full of answers. I haven't seen any friggin' science. I've seen some special marketing, though. And now that you bought the bloody product, you got to get other believers to believe with you, otherwise you feel a bit silly. And that's why he's so damn cross. It's probably because he has doubt. If you don't have doubt, you can be nice and relaxed about it. If you have doubt, you're going to have to get cross and forceful and start working the air and stuff.
Look, at the end of the day, right, for him to act like that, right, for someone to be that, was it right-wing?
Threatened is the word you're looking for.
Whatever it is, like, right, for him to be so aggressive like that, this thing would have to kill 99 out of 100 people.
You mean, yes.
If the death rate was like, 99 out of 100 people, like a zombie apocalypse.
Well, the man obviously can't count, can he?
Right, you'd need to mandate something.
Yes.
Fucking, of course. 50% even.
Come on, give me some decent figures.
25%.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Now you're starting to get on and fucking...
you know,
0.45% is certainly not enough.
good point. We're not going to say
0.45%. Fucking hell. 0.45%. The population's gone up. We're in a pandemic. How the fuck has the population come up? You know what everyone's going to say? Oh, we had lockdowns. We abided by the laws. Fuck off! Honestly, I need to walk away now just for a second.
She's not normally this cross or mad. She's just a bit tetchy over the entire matter. She's probably going to have a cry in the corner.
No, I'm not crying. I'm not at that level.
You're full of showbiz.
Oh.
Let's go.
But honestly, don't protest. I'm starting to think that protesting is what they want. They want us to react.
No, you can...
protest, but protest and make sure they don't fucking wind you up. Walk away when it kicks off with them people that are going smashing windows and doing all this other shit. Something needs to happen there.
I do think that evil prospers when good men stand by and do nothing. That's an old saying.
Of course.
And I think that one has to be
Fine line, Mark.
truthful, and so in my own case, I turn up and say I'm vaccinated. Is that okay with everyone?
For the first time in my life, I'm actually pretty concerned with the situation out there, and you know, you can dramatise things sometimes, and you can get passionate about things, and you can be like, oh. I'm actually pretty concerned with the way the government. Well, the government doesn't surprise me actually. The powers that be doesn't surprise me. It's how the public are acting. In the sense of that, there are obviously my friends and my family who are around me, the people I communicate with. You see them as normal human beings.
This gets back to the point that I was making earlier: is that you're talking to screen people, and if you're screen people, your mindset is going to come from that screen. Yeah, that screen.
Everyone watches that screen. Mark.
There's the problem.
Everyone.
Why do they buy everything they see on TV? That's the question. You don't buy everything you see on TV. It's on TV because it's being sold to you. I mean, this is kindergarten stuff. And taking instructions from somebody who you know is a bit dodgy. Like, why would you do that? It's not going to be good. How can it end well? How can it end well? You know? So this is where the whole critical thinking and be a gentleman about it and don't hit people and get shouty. Important.
When I was a union rep, right?
You'll get arrested way before I will.
When I was a union rep, no, I can actually. No, I can actually keep my cool in that kind of situation. When I was a union rep, right?
When she was a union rep.
When I was a union rep, okay, people would come to me and go, and I'll be like, all right, next time, next meeting, I'll bring it up. Manager, whole members of staff, I bring up all their complaints. What do they all do?
Oh.
2 of them might speak up. All the rest.
Do you know?
The ones in the corner with their fucking head down were the most vocal about what's going on. But them cunts couldn't fucking open their mouth.
When it came time.
When it was they wanted me to open their mouth. They wanted me to go, oh, it's okay. I'll lay my head on the line and do all of it for you. You fucking selfish cunt.
You do have a huge mouth.
No, fuck that. What the fuck is that about?
You have subcontracted your mouth to the masses.
Cunt.
They speak
C-U-N-T.
The thing is...
But how are you that scared that you can't show your face to something that's... I just don't understand it. I've never quite understood it.
Not everyone is a balls-out lesbian individualist.
It's nothing to do with being a lesbian.
It is.
Nothing to do with being an individualist.
It has to do with the fact that you're fierce and passionate and courageous. And these are not actually that common. Marvellous woman.
How the fuck can you not say anything? I just don't understand it.
Because you've been cowed, you've been beaten, you've been subjugated, and you don't think you know anything, and you don't feel that you have...
So then the people who you think know something, who stand up for you, fucking then you ridicule them when the fucking television says that it's wrong.
Izzy, you cannot blame people for not being brave enough or courageous enough for this. You are asking them to stand against a huge grey monster which appears to be merciless.
Life or death, Mark. This is life or death, right? Let's just put it as it is, right? Do you want to live in a fucking dictatorship that your fucking ancestors fought for, right? To fucking have freedom, Hitler, all that shit, yeah? Do you want to live in some fucking... It's going to be worse than that. They track you through your phone anyway, right? To an extent. But I mean on an autistic level. Not 1 second of your life will be yours. What you eat, what you drink, what you piss, what you do, from second to fucking second. People looking at you constantly.
Why do they need all that?
I don't know.
Well, obviously, it's because you're a slave species now.
Data, maybe to sell you more shit.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're turning people into androids.
Well,
I don't want to live in a society that is androids.
So how do we avoid that?
Fuck off. I don't mean kill yourself. Can't we just, without a divide, you've got to divide it.
Do you know, I think that we're an interesting species and we're very prone to trend. And after we've gone into one mindset and had a go at it, we tend to dump it for something better. And we've done this with fascism, we've done this with communism, we're now in medicalism.
Yeah, but it's not even medicalism. Think about it on the next level. Put that aside, right? You can go on about global warming, global cooling, climate change, right?
Okay.
Put that aside. There are parts of the world that are desolated because man has fucked it, right? And they are still desolated now, right? I mean, like wood, like fucking forests, all this sort of shit, right?
Point made.
Now, of course, it can grow back.
Yes.
But while everyone's consuming all the shit they consume, us, in this world, we are the rich part of humanity. We are part of the cause.
Yes,
now, there's certain technologies that are fantastic ideas, but it's got to the point where we've got to find a fucking balance. And going into this technological Bill Gates world where you put an octopus on your head for fucking 2 hours of the day, and then be track and trace wherever you go, and have androids bring you fucking food to the door, and you never leave your fucking house, I'd rather not bother. What are you going to do? Sit every day, get up, you've got no fucking bones in your body because you wear an Oculus.
Do you know,
it's like almost like, Wall-E!
It gives us the...
Wall-E! Have you seen that film, Wall-E?
I have. It gives us the opportunity to become better people, because if we don't get a stance on this, we will be devoured by the entire thing.
And do you know what the other thing is? It's like mankind is literally being enslaved. Before this pandemic happened, you know what mankind was being enslaved by?
Man?
Convenience.
Oh yes, that's a very good point. Seduction, yes.
Convenience.
Yes.
Convenience.
Have you noticed the rewilding thing that's going on as a trend out there?
Rewilding?
Yes, people are interested in that sort of thing.
Oh, really?
And I recognise that as a sort of a counter-tech thing, because tech's great, but you can't let it rule your life. You need...
The balance needs to be there.
The balance, yeah.
It's like balance of everything. Everything needs to be a balance. What do you think the yin and yang's about? You need good and bad. You know, I've said to you before, without negative ideas, you never get positive thoughts.
Precisely.
It's the way it's, you know, so you can't have...
The thing is can we have negative ideas without actually having to shout at people and cause them to be violent
you need,
with us?
it's not about violence. You need emotions. Things need to express. It's when you're violent towards a person or a thing. Common law. Don't hurt anyone. Don't fucking steal from them. Don't take their stuff. Da, da, da. Just be nice to one another on that sense. You can have an opinion and do what you want, but just leave the other people be to do what they want. You don't have to go around fucking eating people and hurting people and stealing their stuff and breaking their stuff up because they've done something that's better than yours, do you? Because you're jealous and insecure.
This is the interesting bit, because this is the bit whereby now when you're deploying this in a relationship with a believer, it is entirely ghoulish to take away someone's belief unless you've got something better to put in its place.
It's impossible to say what's better because no one knows the answer.
Well, in that case, we have no business having an argument, do we?
Because so you want to live in a dictatorship?
Because no one's got a decent opinion. That's the point.
What do you mean?
No one knows. I don't know if our stance is correct. They don't know if their stance is correct. Nobody knows. This is the whole gig. And that's probably why we have to be able to live together with contrary stances and be comfortable with each other. You know, I think that...
But it's not going to be like that, is it? If the whole world is in some kind of fucking dictatorship.
Do you know what? It only takes 20% to disrupt the thing. If it was 100%, you know it would be a pure tyranny. Okay? You cannot...
Yeah, but tyranny is more closer than it's ever been right now, Mark. Because
it's certainly
of COVID.
threatening.
It's just... It's not that... Tyranny can be like that. They closed the entire world down last year like that. The ecosystem even fucking recovered. That was pure tyranny. That could have been tyrannical. From that moment onwards, it could have been. Okay? Easily. You've got France like it, Spain are like it,
they did it with
Italy
consent.
are like it. Australia like it.
They did
China
it with consent.
like it.
The public said
America.
okay.
None of these have said consent. This is 7 nations so far.
We did not have a gun.
Europe,
We did not have a gun pointed
I'm
at us
talking
to
about
stay at
now.
home.
I'm not talking about staying at home. I'm talking about now. All these other countries are mandatorily doing stuff. You're not allowed to shop without a vaccine.
Wait.
You're not allowed.
Wait. Stop. Are we in a democracy?
Yes.
In
The
that
passions
case,
come now.
in that case, I choose not to submit to your mandate. If this is a democracy, I don't have to take your mandate. It's that simple. If this is a civil democracy based on common law, which it primarily is, it means I do not have to accept your order. If you are going to force me to accept your order, we now both know that it is unlawful.
Yeah.
All right? Because when you force that order, that is your confession. You're a thug. And now I can just sue you from the centre of the earth to the top of the sky, which is an old-fashioned way of saying deeply as possible, because you're a villain. And if your infrastructure is behaving like villains with you by forcing a retail product into your body because it's part of the medical trend, you now know that they are total believers or villains. Now, you can't do much about a villain because he's a villain. And you're going to have to sue him the old-fashioned way.
You're always going to have a few of them.
Of course you are. But the believers, the thing is to be able to say something very sweet and very civil to the believer that doesn't bang their buttons and doesn't cause them to want you to put you in a straitjacket. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of protesting we need to have. It's, you know, the whole war thing has got to stop. Got to stop. All we're doing is dealing with minds that are currently locked with a certain marketing program. That's all. It's just a fucking marketing program. I don't see science. It's all screen stuff.
Yeah, but science is science.
All
is
I
fluid,
have,
isn't it?
all I have to do is give you
theory.
enough doubt in your belief to make you think that I should be allowed to keep mine. That's the whole point of this. And if your entire belief came from the screen, you're a believer. It might have well have come from the Bible. It's the same shit. You're a believer. Know that you're a believer. I'm not a believer. I don't believe this. You know, I've seen this stuff before. I've seen it before. I can recognise it. That's a marketing program. That's a weaponised marketing program. That's a military marketing program. No. Well, they are the two biggest businesses on earth, are they not? War and pharmaceuticals. We need sick people. We've got medicine. Woo-hoo-hoo. You know, we need to spend our bullets. Let's go over there. I know I live here. And this is why I'm so careful to try and miss the trends. I missed thalidomide on the way in. That was fucking relief. You know, I missed the fat anxiety trend. I wasn't paying attention. I missed the salt anxiety trend. You know, I missed the head hug drug trend. You know what I mean? I missed the statin trend. I've had loads of vaccinations.
I've had vaccinations.
You know, I was a soldier, and then I went and filmed in Africa. I've had loads of vaccinations. I'm pro-vaccination. I have seen a cat die of cat flu. That tells me about vaccinations. I just don't particularly buy this one.
It's not really a vaccine. It's a treatment. It's different.
I don't buy this.
It's not developed the same way as polio, is it?
I don't buy this one because it's served with fear. It's served with horror. It's served with mandates and commands. And you know what? If they're packaging something up like that, then it can't be any good, right? Not if you've got to sell it like that. You know, and if you're willing to sell something like that, you're a bit creepy too. What on earth are you doing using fear and coercion and intimidation and terror and anxiety in your marketing for? Fuck! This is an anxious nation. What on earth are you doing making them more anxious? It's just thoroughly irresponsible, in my opinion, for a bunch of shareholders, for something that practically no one dies of, apart from those who are on the very verge of death.
0.45% of the population.
You know what I'm saying here? You know, and this new Novacon job, I mean, that's very interesting. I mean, you know...
Novacon?
I
don't even know.
The new one, which is...
I'm on something con.
Yeah, it's...
Isn't it some kind of solar system?
I don't know, apparently...
It is, it's a distant star system, actually. It's a Greek alphabetic letter, isn't it? Alpha, Delta, whatever it is, I don't know.
Apparently, it's not quite as dangerous, but it can travel. All right? This is why you're being... Apparently, it's not as dangerous, all right? Not many people die. It's not going to hurt you. Most people won't even notice they've got the sodding thing.
So why are they worried about it then?
But it can travel. Well, this is the whole cases v deaths thing. You know, of course there's going to be infections. This thing's passing through the entire world. The question is how many people is it killing on the way? And
but if it's not as bad as the last one, then it'll be less than 0.45%.
so now we have to move into this, are we getting this whole right-wing lockdown-y tech state tyranny thing going on?
More people
Because it doesn't affect.
globally die of flu yearly when flu was allowed. Now, a engineer came into work today, an asbestos engineer, and he overheard me having a conversation with a member of public because they said, "Oh, you don't fear this then," right? He said to me that I think it's either King's College or one of the colleges in London. He has to go and check the thing, but there's scientists and whatever else there, and he's spoken to a couple of them. And he said to one of them, he goes, "One question I asked this scientist was, oh, all the flu vaccine, all the flu cases have disappeared this year. Not one flu case. Why is that?" And the scientist went, "Oh, because everyone was wearing masks." And he went, "So why did COVID spread?" And they couldn't answer the question. He also then witnessed a member of staff coming into a tutor, another tutor, saying that this person needs to pass this exam. You will do the study for him and pass it for him. He's heard people. You know, he's seen lots of dodgy shit going in these.
You know what's really interesting?
So if that's the case, he goes and you know these things are just not legit. You know,
These people,
if these people act like that, how can you trust them with anything?
what's interesting, I think, for me, is that the young are going to inherit all this, and they aren't buying anything, and that's very interesting because one day this whole thing is going to be run by them, and they don't believe in anything.
A lot of them don't.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Some of them do.
Well, it's a tough space to be young here now. You know, you're not going to own a house. You're not going to own a car. You're probably not going anywhere. You know. It's an interesting. We have a crisis of despair, and that brings an anger. And you know, I think if somebody is harvesting that, if somebody is poking that to make something out of it, you got to be aware, because A, it's a bit fucking wicked, and B, it only works on people who aren't having a think about it. Because if somebody is shouting at you in this kind of totally hostile way, you know, what the fuck is that? Who does that? Weirdos do that. You know, try and dominate each other with their own silly ideas when nobody knows what's going on. So this is the argument with believers.
It's just really difficult for me. I just try and engage common sense and just look at it like that. Just question everything as much as you can.
There is an essence of heart impulse, you know, because otherwise...
But instinctively, you know that when things are right or wrong in a way.
God, I'm so careful about that. I'm careful. I know it's right if I'm not lying and I'm not stealing and I'm not violating anyone.
If you're not hurting anyone
I think
else.
I'm probably okay. I might not know that I was stealing from them or harming them.
Yeah, but
or
you,
violating.
within your best intention.
It's not my intention to do that.
No, exactly.
No, entirely
It's not
not.
done intentionally.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
It's like we can all be selfish, but without intent. There's nothing wrong with being selfish, like at times, because you have to be selfish at times in order to fucking live, you know. But without intent, when it starts to be with intent, it's like it's difficult.
Does that mean that you can hurt people just as long as you don't enjoy it?
What? You can hurt people, but as long as you don't enjoy it. It's difficult because you don't purposely. You can be selfish about something and go, "Oh, I want to do this." Da, da, da,
Well,
da,
this-
but
this-
you know,
this
it could harm someone else along the way. But as long as you don't do that without the knowledge and the intent to do it,
Well, you're talking about the poor old frontline worker who's responsible for jabbing thousands of children.
well, that's up to them.
Well, they don't intend to hurt anybody.
No, they don't. So that's what I mean. They're not being selfish, are they? They don't intend to do it.
But they are still responsible for their action.
Maybe they are responsible for their action,
And-
but it's a very, very
and-
difficult and fine line to say how responsible they are for their action. You expect everyone
Well,
to...
not really, They did it.
Here we
You know,
go.
this was the whole thing about
Right.
Nuremberg. If you were there shoveling people into ovens, as many as possible before the Allies
Well, I
came,
wouldn't.
because it
shove
was an
people into-
order.
Even if it was an order, you know that experiment where they electrocuted people, one was an actor and the other one wasn't?
Yes.
I would not have pressed the buttons. Even if you said, I take responsibility, I'd have gone, fucking you press the button then, cunt. And I'd
Well,
walked
this is
away.
consciousness, is it not? This is a sort of consciousness, an awareness that something may be wrong here.
I am that kind of weird small percentage of people that don't do the normal things that people do. When they do experiments, I'm the one that doesn't do what everyone else does.
You're the difficult one.
Yeah.
But you also have trouble with authority and have an instinctive
I don't
distrust.
like being told that I can or can't do anything, but I know the difference between right
Is
and
that
wrong.
because you think
No,
you're
but
in a
I know
world of equals?
No, because I know the difference between right and wrong. I think it's a lot to do with how men and women were perceived in society when I was young. I don't like men telling me what to do, full stop.
I think that every woman can agree with that. They hate being told to do anything by a man.
I don't think anyone should be telling anyone what they can and can't do. Man or woman.
Do you know, I'm going to have to agree with that. I think that we should be invited.
I've got no right to tell anyone what they can and can't
What
do.
if they think?
Where they can and can't
What if they
go.
think you're mad?
How have you got the right to tell someone else what they can do with their life? You've got no authority over another person at all, ever.
Unless you have a contract and it's a commercial agreement and you've consented.
Well, yeah, maybe that would be an employment contract. etc.,
Well,
etc.
any commercial action.
Yeah,
right?
but people don't realise that marriage is a commercial action, and it almost like makes the man in charge.
They don't realise that a vaccine is also a commercial action, which is why it comes with full commercial liability, the full duty of care, and covered under the health and safety regulations. Apparently, none of those things matter if it has no.
Yeah, but if you've got life insurance, it's not covered if you die from the vaccine.
I didn't know that.
Didn't you?
No.
In accidental death insurance doesn't work either.
So the insurance companies won't pay
No,
off if
because
you die from the
one
vaccine.
of my friends rang up the insurance company and asked the question, and they said no, because it's not a it's not an approved drug.
Come on! Oh yes!
I know. It's not
So
been
now-
approved.
now I'm gonna
It's
hear-
still in trial status. They had to rush it through. Yes, your life insurance will not fucking cover you if you die from taking the vaccine.
Well, you
And
see,
still people go, oh, it's okay. It's like World War III, this is. Got to do it for our country, you fucking retard.
I'm going to. Well, that's pretty decisive. I'm not going to say anything cleverer than that, apart from the insurance company won't pay out if you've done.
Should we peace, love and light it? Because it's been about an half hour.
Well, that's
I don't even
because
know how
you
long.
do go on.
Are you fucking serious? I go on. I actually made you angry. It was amazing. I actually got... Stop! I actually got that from you. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, yeah, peace, love and light.